Oops, I'm testing out another format again, bridging the gap between movies and gaming once more through the movie games genre. And since it's an unofficial Pixar week, let's talk about the relevant Pixar IP of the current day, WallE. Cause WallE got a crappy Wii game. Created back in 2008, WallE was set as an action-adventure game published by THQ. That's a logo we're gonna get more familiar with. This was during the phase where every single movie got a video game adaptation. It's just what speaks to the kids, okay? Now, WallE the video game wasn't just a singular Wii game that somehow landed in my 11-year-old hands. Instead, it was a super project that was repackaged and distributed under many different outlets. I wonder what that would be like. But with obviously the narrative of the movie threading everything together. WallE as an interactive game was released on the PC and PlayStation 2, PSP, Mac, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii, and Nintendo DS. I mean, it was really shredded out there. That's a lot of man-hours put out there for marketing and side profits. But yes, we are gonna be narrowing down on just one, being the perfect balance of downgraded and cursed, whilst not being, 12 pixels in quality. It's the Wii version, clearly not the best of the bunch. Taking the masterfully cinematic art piece that is this dialogue-less masterclass of storytelling, and they turned it into a Wii game. What could possibly go wrong? And so, upon opening the game up, you're greeted with an off cover of Put On Your Sunday Shoes.
There's a slick town, Barnaby.
With, of course, the most unappealing color palette possibly imaginable. I'm fine. Not to mention the fact that the menu is essentially a collection of JPEGs, which, when you've been around the block of movie games a little like I have, it's honestly not all that surprising anymore. And once it's over...
Out there,
no, we just did this again! Don't sing it again! They've only got the rights to one song, and they're gonna use it. As we get a slightly lower quality version of WallE doing its dusty duty. And thus begins our first mission. You can probably see how it goes. With the world as our global crisis oyster, we're presumably free to run around and do the good work of WallE, climbing towers of cubes to plant another, finding interesting artifacts of humankind, witnessing a beautiful sunset on this apocalyptic planet. In reality, enter into precision aiming mode. Alright, when did WallE get a gun? I'm like stunned where this is going. Like, I half expect him to just be like, wow, a Glock! See, the main gameplay crux of this mission isn't to discover or build. That's not gonna get the attention of the kids of 2008. It is instead to go to these random cube reserves, not creating them yourself, of course. Are you mad? You shake the Wii remote to whip out a cube over your head, and then you must throw them onto targets to weigh down things and make things happen. They turned WallE into an aggressive vandal in this game. Together, we can destroy Amazon. I am out of things. Oh, no, I got it. I just did it in the most scuffed way possible. What? That is real. The vans, they just explode upon something. I think these kind of experiences would be great for any student developers wanting to learn the do's and do nots of level design, because they clearly are just cramming things together over in WallE. And the sound design is just top notch. Why does it sound so cursed? Shall we move on? After a lot more running along the ground, WallE eventually finds that boot plant, as this game does actually follow the narrative of the movie. Just a strange variant version where the bots had significantly less budget. And of course, following that narrative, Eve finally has to make her appearance. Wow, she's like an iPhone. Oh, but not before another notorious Pixar character. Yes, since this is some alternate reality, there's room to chuck in some extracurricular Pixar IPs in none other than Rex. Rex is in the game. See, each mission also has a hidden collectible to be hunted down, and in this one, oh my, Rex, what are you doing up here? Obtain special souvenir. Okay. And maybe that makes sense. With toys literally becoming trash eventually, I guess it stands to reason that he would exist somewhere in the WallE universe.
I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection.
But enough of Toy Story. With Eve on arrival, the gameplay switches it up to play as her. Nice! That's a childhood dream right there, being able to fly freely up in the skies with the smooth modern technology of someone like Eve. It's like experiencing the future of hundreds of years but it's just 2008. Except you gotta remember, this is the Wii era, and they have to cram in their gimmick. Oh no! Oh, I hate this suddenly. Her entire perspective is motion controlled, meaning if for a second you don't have your pointer visible somewhere on the screen, she's gonna careen in any direction. And she's omnidirectional up there. If this was a VR experience, I am certain that the average player would be getting motion sickness because this is uncomfortable. And then once you get the controls, they have you dashing through some tunnel system at breakneck speed. I don't remember any of this. What happened to the supermarket, the giant canyons, the sleeping pod, or even the magnet being some kind of rival to deal with? Is it the sandstorm straight away, running from that? I don't think so, but it should be. Trying to get back to WallE's home in time. Having the gameplay be this run and gun shooter rail thing just makes it seem like some sort of easy mobile game. I'm sure I was addicted to one of those falling tunnel apps back in the day like this. Oh well, I guess this is a quick Wii game, so maybe it's just that. Heavy Iron Studios' other works include the likes of both major SpongeBob SquarePants games, both Incredibles games, Ratatouille, and Up, so they're the go-to adaptation studio with a decent piece of variety and quality. Maybe it was just the logic that gamers want a race, so might as well plug it in. While the next element of the movie has the two hide from the storm, in the game, we gotta do that ourselves. Let's get out of here! Alright, God, these cutscenes end abrupt. And it's done in the most boring way possible. Not only does the murky aesthetic not really do it any favors, but now it's more of that repetitive cube throw mechanic redone up to 11. And after trying to entertain ourselves for a while, we then come to the most egregious game design choice. See, this entire massive pathway is not where you're meant to go. You're meant to go in the here. Choosing not to go in the here leads you to a dead end as well as a faint sand trail that kills you. And it was at this point that I realized I was playing a massively downgraded game to what I could have had. Well, look at that! We could be playing this right now! Look how clean this looks! And what do we get? We get this! Are you kidding me? But we're stuck in it now, so might as well continue. And a whole lot of basic gameplay loops later, we're out of there. So this is something new we're trying. Let me know how we're doing so far. And hey, subscribe over here or over there for some more movie gaming stuff. All links are down below. In fact, let's just skip to the next interesting thing. Let's full on head over to the spacey part. I know the movie still has like another 20 minutes of character building and romantic moments and story beats to touch on, but not in this version. We don't even get a peep into WallE's house in this universe. Oh, but actually something we do get the gift of receiving is get across the chasm. What kind of Final Fantasy timeline BS is this? The Wii version of WallE is cursed, with some kind of connection to the occult, I swear, because I don't remember WallE harboring a black hole inside their supermarkets. But don't worry about it, let's just move on out of here. Wow. Oh! Back to the Future? A DeLorean's coming? And you gotta love that with a budget like this, of course all the reused sound effects are coming out. Only the best for the cinematic magnum opus of Pixar, repurposed as a knockoff low-budget piece of shovelware. The game then has a lot more padding of chasing the rocket, getting decapitated. You remember that part where the spaceship just started flying tires everywhere? Oh, wandering flat platforms with at least a nice view and chasing down Eve as Mo is constantly chasing you. But eventually, with WallE off the ground, we come to our dream spot we didn't even know we wanted. And that is the runway of traffic up on the Axiom. We're here! Oh my god, look at it! I think this is one of the real gripping points of making these video game movies, being able to interact just a little bit more with the iconic scenes and iconic locations that you've otherwise only been able to just witness. I mean, look at this moment. This is on a crappy quality Wii game resolution, but for a brief moment, I still felt some kind of magic from this spot. It's actually kind of a real tragedy that movie game videos have dwindled in recent years, since ironically, now is the time we could represent such scenes in true to form quality, or at least somewhat closer to it. Unfortunately, the fate of Heavy Iron Studios post-2008 was to reach financial difficulty, but they lived, spinning off and becoming an independent company with original games, before being acquired by Keyword Studios in 2020 for $13.3 million. Not bad. The underbelly of all these niche gaming companies is something I am not familiar with yet, but I am hoping to play more of this genre on our second channel, so maybe we'll learn all the corners of this trend. Keyword, for example, never releases games, instead acquiring other studios to solely release their own products under their umbrella buyout. And not just development either. But of the developers they do have, they run 11 developers, 7 with Wikipedia pages. And my brother in Christ, I have no idea how to present all this information succinctly about what everybody does. Christ. Many of the games you know, and many you don't. But at the end of the day, Heavy Iron's still around, doing Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle, and co-developing Avengers, and Crash 4, and COD. Weird one, but it's at least clear the quick movie game phase is long past us. Anyway, back to WallE, remember that. Being able to traverse the halls yourself, it was fun to discover even the outdoor space is sometimes presented with just moving wallpaper. Oh my god, they've got adverts between the wallpapers. That's actually fantastic. I'm dead. But admittedly, a lot of the gameplay on the ship is much the same. It's still cubes, there's minor hazards, the music grinds down your soul, until they give WallE Eve's gun. It's literally a third-person shooter WallE game. Everybody get on the freaking ground! I don't particularly remember WallE shooting the place up, but it's especially dissonant considering he's attacking quite indiscriminately any robots that come to confront him. Though I will admit, this is probably one of the more energetic and entertaining levels in the whole runtime. Though it's still motion controls and janky with that. Let's skip the several deaths this level chucks at me. So where do we go now? Oh, it actually looks good in this room. Capital punishment. Plonk it in. Off you go, out into space. This is the highlight of the entire movie's runtime. It's the defined dancing part. Full-scale romance with a beautiful piece of choreography and music. An opportunity to control and extinguish propelled WallE? No. What do you think, this is the PSP version? I have no idea what's in the PSP version. Here's how the Wii tackles this occasion. Fly through the rings. All right. Destroy the trash before time runs out. Okay. And then chase WallE. All right. Nothing like more of that sickly Eve mechanic mixed in with the most restrictive gameplay loop possible. A real feat to take such a free motion and chain it so tightly. But in the background, the narrative has been taking place. Forget it making friends with the robots, forget the leader learning about humans, forget the 2 talking civilians, but we do have plants. And the AI takeover. Or down. Oh, okay. And so WallE is dropped into the trash and must careen through on the ground, which is fine. I mean, at this point, the gameplay is not the greatest, you've probably noticed, but I guess since presumably the main target demographic never really reached this part. I don't know when exactly I stopped as a kid, but I certainly don't remember this bit. The lack of optimization functionally really starts to peer its head for the Wii version. I mean, it is just... oh god, it's so choppy. But you're honestly not missing much. The vicinity. Ah! I swear. What? Where did that... oh wow. Bruh. Okay, can we just move on at this point? We survived the Junklands. Can we get the finale now? I feel I'm ready for the finale at this point. And so, the final level of WallE the Wii game. The magnum opus hurdle you have to overcome is that brief moment where the Axiom turns on its side. It's a simple dash to the finish. However, the universal hurdle is the fact that there's an endless array of civilians rolling down the hill uncontrollably. That is real. Weave through the passengers. Oh my god! What they didn't tell you is the real threat is the red death grids. Oh my god, game! Whoa! Oh, no! Hello. Don't tumble in my way, please, this time. I would appreciate it if you didn't. Damn it! Why am I so bad? What? What zapped me there? Are you kidding me? Here's the plant.
Everybody, we're going home.
Yes! Don't make me do another level. And with that, we return to the cockroach of which we had minimal connection with beforehand. The humans return back to the planet, none are stripped of their consumer outlook, several robots were shot to death, Woody was presumably dumped as some sort of trash. That's what happened after Toy Story 4, now we know. He was chucked in the trash like everyone else. And everything's just a little scuffed in this variant of a universe. This Wish version of WallE really was the worst timeline. He looks awful, he committed genocide, and that is all. And that was the WallE Wii experience. Oh no! What is, no, what is this? No! But that's enough of that. More movie games were made, but nowadays, both industries have changed, going either heavy on the adaptation or not touching it at all. But I'm always the nostalgia type, so there's plenty of old fodder available to keep us entertained. Look, I've even got a PS2 just for the occasion. If you're interested in seeing more movie game stuff from me, it's a side hustle I do over on Twitch and our second channel, DazzReviews 2, and maybe occasionally live here, or just suggest this series more. In fact, this WallE experience has another video with more jokes that were cut in this version. I'm not entirely sure if this new series has much longevity to it. We'll have to see how the response is and maybe switch up the formula some more, since this feels more like an advert to watch that old thing. But let me know, and give us some requests for stream suggestions over on our public Discord. Maybe all 7 other WallE versions and all that jazz. Otherwise, for now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.